There was a specific night when the dark stopped being terrifying. The sun dipped below the horizon. Usually, this meant absolute panic. Predators owned the night. Humans were nothing but prey. We were physically weak. We were extremely slow. We had zero claws. We had zero fangs. Our only defense was hiding. We sat in the cold. We waited for the dawn. But on this night, everything changed. Someone did not run away. Someone captured a bright spark. They fed it dry leaves. They kept the beast alive. For the first time, a human controlled a star. This was not just a neat trick. It was the greatest biological hack in history. Why did fire matter so much? The answer is hidden inside your own body. Look at a modern wild gorilla. They spend 8 hours a day just chewing. Their stomachs are absolutely massive. Raw food takes huge amounts of energy to digest. Early humans had the exact same problem. We were trapped by our own biology. We could not grow bigger brains. Brains are incredibly greedy organs. Your brain uses 20% of your daily calories, but it only makes up 2% of your weight. A raw food diet cannot support a genius mind. There simply are not enough hours in the day to chew. Then, the fire changed the math. Cooking food is a form of external digestion. Fire breaks down the complex proteins. It neutralizes the dangerous plant toxins. It unlocks massive amounts of hidden calories. According to primatologist Richard Wrangham, this was the turning point. Wrangham proposed the cooking hypothesis in 1999. He argued that fire created the modern human. When we started cooking, our stomachs began to shrink. We no longer needed massive digestive tracts. The energy saved from digesting was naturally redirected. It went straight into our skulls. Our brains exploded in physical size. In just a few 100,000 years, our cerebral cortex doubled. We became vastly smarter. We became infinitely more complex. We started to form intricate social structures. But how did fire change our minds so quickly? Think about what happens around a campfire. Before fire, humans went to sleep when it got dark. The active day ended perfectly with the sun. Fire gave us extra hours of light. It extended the day deep into the night. This time was not spent hunting or gathering. It was spent sitting very close together, staring quietly into the moving flames. This is exactly when language evolved. This is when human storytelling was born. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied modern hunter-gatherer tribes. She found a clear distinction in how they talk. Daytime conversations are strictly about business. They talk about food, territory, and crude tools. But nighttime conversations are entirely different. Around the fire, they talk about unseen spirits. They talk about legends, myths, and distant ancestors. Fire practically created human culture. It built a safe bubble in a dangerous world. Inside that bubble of light, we could finally dream. We could securely plan for tomorrow. We could openly share vital knowledge. The campfire was the first classroom. It was the very first theater. It was our first religious temple. But there was a darker side to this light. Fire also changed our relationship with nature. We stopped being a part of the food chain. We stepped completely outside of it. We became the ruthless masters of our environment. Predators quickly learned to fear the flickering light. The monsters in the dark were terrified of us. What does that kind of power do to a species? It makes us incredibly arrogant. It makes us dangerously bold. We started burning vast forests to drive out game. We reshaped entire landscapes to suit our immediate needs. The invention of fire was the start of the Anthropocene. It was the moment human history permanently separated from natural history. We were no longer adapting to the natural world. We were forcing the world to adapt to us, and we naturally paid a severe biological price. Because we outsourced our digestion to the flames, we are now trapped. You are biologically addicted to cooked food. If you tried to survive on a completely raw, wild diet, you would starve. Your jaw is completely too weak. Your teeth are far too small. Your gut is much too short. We are the only animals on Earth that require external energy just to eat. Without fire, the human species would collapse in a matter of months. We are permanently tied to the flame forever. Even today, the legacy of that first spark is absolutely everywhere. It is burning in the engine of your car. It is in the power plants generating your electricity. It is in the glowing screen you are staring at right now. All of human technology is just an extension of that first campfire. We are still just frightened apes huddled around the heat, trying desperately to keep the monsters in the dark away. But there is a strange psychological echo left behind in us. Have you ever noticed how relaxing it is to watch a fire? Your heart rate automatically slows down, your blood pressure immediately drops, your mind gracefully enters a state of calm focus. Clinical studies show this is a universal human trait. We are biologically programmed to feel perfectly safe near a flame. Why would evolution hardwire us to love something so intrinsically dangerous? Because for 1,000,000 years, a fire meant you survived another night. It vividly meant you were warm. It clearly meant you were safe. It meant you were not totally alone. The sacred memory of the campfire is literally carved into your DNA. When you stare deeply into a flame, you are remembering. You are accessing the oldest collective memory of our entire species. You are feeling the exact same comfort your primitive ancestors felt. They sat quietly in the dirt, terrified of the shadows. You sit comfortably in your living room, terrified of the future. But the flame flawlessly does the exact same job. It effortlessly pushes the darkness back just a little bit. Our entire sprawling civilization is built on a simple trick. We figured out how to cleverly trap the sun. We courageously brought the light down into the dirt. We aggressively forced it to serve us. We freely traded our wild nature for a larger brain. We traded our natural place in the world for absolute control. Fire gave us absolutely everything we currently have. It generously gave us art, science, and the modern world. But it also made us incredibly fragile. Without it, we are just weak apes trembling in the cold. The next time you see a flame, look closely at it. It is not merely a fascinating chemical reaction. It is the singular reason you have a mind capable of understanding it. The spark did not just cook our daily food. It systematically cooked us. It thoroughly burned away the animal, and from the smoldering ashes, the human was born. We did not invent fire, fire invented us.